Congratulations to you, Lauren.
Thank you.
Maria here tells me this is your first career double-double. And it comes in a really big win in a close game like that. Does that make it even more, make you feel even better about it that you're able to play so well in such a crucial game?
Yeah, definitely. It makes me. My teammates, as soon as we walked in, they said I got my first career double-double, and I was like, well, thanks, guys. Thanks for telling me. So it's always good. Feels good to win and to feel like I did my part in the win.
So you guys now are 12-4 for like the first time in almost like 10 years. Won 3 of your last 4 games. Overall, how do you like where this team is at this point in the season?
I feel like we're progressing really good in the right direction. Some days we always have struggle days, but we always seem to bounce back, come together, find a way to come together, and get the job done. I feel like that's what this year is all about, and we're learning a lot to get the job done, finish it out, even when we feel like sometimes, like, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we always end up doing it, so it's a good thing, I feel like.
Has it been different ways from game to game that you've been able to pull games out?
Definitely. We've been relying on different people a lot, like Sav coming up big in Central, Kendall McCoy shooting lights out every game, really. So I feel like everyone's playing their part, and someone's always stepping up.
Is there an area this team has progressed the most in from the beginning of the season till now that you've noticed?
I feel like defensively we've been causing havoc for a lot of teams, for a lot of possessions. We're definitely not perfect, but I feel like we're definitely progressing in a right way and trying every day to work on something new, communication-wise, getting our feet set, sticking to our principles. So defensively, I think we've grown big.
Talking about your defensive game as a team, Ball State was hanging around. They kept it very, very close, and in the couple minutes, the last couple minutes of the game, it was a very close game. How did your team lock down defensively in order to give yourselves the opportunity to win this one?
It all starts with us with a mentality. First, we got to believe we can do it. Coach, she give us a speech in our huddles. We believe we can. We look at each other and we say, let's go, let's get this, and we go out there and execute.
How is your mentality on the floor, being up only a couple points with a couple minutes left, knowing that Ball State has a chance? How is your mentality out there? What are you saying to your teammates? How is your leadership kind of shining through during those moments?
It really comes from saying we're not losing this game and believing that and standing on it and making sure I'm doing my part when I say it, and then just executing. We know what we have to do, so just doing it really is breaking it down to simple form and then making it happen.
Thank you so much. Congrats on the win today.
Thank you.
Obviously, a nice win for you guys. Game went back and forth. You didn't shoot the ball very well there in the second quarter, but then you picked it up again in the third quarter, and then obviously able to pull it out in the end. What changed from the second quarter to the third quarter, especially the shooting-wise?
I just came from seeing our team, and I said, man, I know the Central Michigan game was huge for our program on Wednesday, but to get this win going into the bye week was probably even more important. And, just understanding how you have to kind of be at the highest of highs from Wednesday and then come back down and prepare and be ready to go on your home floor on Alumni Day. I just thought we had a lack of energy coming out. As much as we scored early, I could tell defensively and just the pace of the game, it wasn't what we wanted it to look like. And I was trying to get them going, trying to get some of the bench kids in. Kendall went down with a couple fouls, and it was just kind of everything was just like we said in the locker room, like gunk. It was just wasn't real good. And we talked about in every timeout, to handle the grind and have some grit and get our pace going a little bit. And then I thought that third quarter was important for us just to get some confidence back, getting our starting group back out there. Lauren Dickerson led the way with just putting the ball in the hole for a little bit when we really struggled, looked worn out at times, and she kind of kept us in along with Savannah. And then, I was really, really happy. We've been working on this a ton in practice of the execution down the stretch, being the more confident team, whether it's to get the ball in bounds, whether it's to get a defensive stop. I thought they were really engaged with what we wanted to do. And despite Ball State's record, we haven't beaten them in a long time as well. And Brown inside for them was tremendous with the double-double, and it was really hard with our offense to try and double her or put bodies around her. But just overall really thrilled to get this win, first for our alums, and then, secondly, we'll get a little bit of rest going into the bye week now.
As I mentioned to Lauren, you guys are 12-4 for the first time in like 10 years or so. What's that say about your team? Are they pretty much where you expected they'd be at this time? Or did you have any expectations at all?
Yeah, this has been an interesting year so far of just kind of the ebbs and flows of a season. We've had a couple kids. Our young freshmen have been banged up with injuries who we thought would be playing a little bit more. We've had a couple tough losses and then a couple huge wins against Toledo and then obviously at Central Michigan. And so it's been kind of, the mentality of everybody in that locker room sticking together, and day to day we try and get better. And the interesting part for how I feel right now going into, kind of the end of January, I don't think we've played our best basketball, which is a good sign. So we've been able to steal a couple wins. We're working on our chemistry and building our culture and our standards every single day. And even through, somebody who has a tough day, let's not turn it into 2 bad days or 3 bad days. And they've, had some great maturity with that. It's been so fun, even in the last 4 days, to see them so happy at Central Michigan and looking like they love this game as much as I know they do. And then tonight, where we just flat out struggled, and give Ball State credit for that, of just hanging together and still looking each other in the eye. And that's growth for us. And we're going to, if we go down, it's not going to be because our effort or enthusiasm. We're gonna do it staying together, and we got a long stretch still ahead with this league, but couldn't be more thrilled today.
Does this break come physically at a good time for you guys also? It's nice 6 days off.
Yeah, it'll be good, and we'll get just a little more time to practice and get extra shots. And some of the kids that maybe haven't had a ton of minutes, you have a chance to get them better. We're still out of school, so we're trying to kind of find things to do. We had game night last night and dinner at my house, and we're trying to have a little fun along with this grind. But yeah, we're going to rest. I think the coaching staff too. We're going to go hit the road recruiting a little bit, and we've had some little flu bugs, and you can tell my voice. So it's like maybe the perfect time just to kind of catch our breath a little bit and reflect a little bit of now moving forward into our last kind of 13 games of what kind of team we want to be. I still think we can get better defensively, as much as people are talking about our defense. I still think it's still inconsistent, but I guess I'm never happy with anything, and then keep moving our offense along.
Of course not, you're a coach.
Right.
I'm good.
Talking a little bit more about your defense, you say that the league is starting to expect a lot of your defense. How did you think your defense showed up tonight, especially in those final minutes trying to hold Ball State off the scoreboard?
Our defense was very up and down. I thought we did a great job on August Daughter, their freshman number 10, who was shooting 60% from the field coming in. She doubled her average going into conference, and we decided to put a guard on her to kind of chase her around a little bit. I mean, Austin Brown, she's just, man, the balance and athleticism, she was tremendous tonight, and somebody we have to deal with for the next few years as well. So there were some tough moments, but I thought down the stretch, really proud of how we defended and gave them one shot and really communicated through some things. I thought when they scored, when we could get to the media timeout and kind of talk about how we were going to guard a couple things, I thought we were much better. But we had juniors and seniors out there making the decisions, and overall, I'll take it to win by 3. As ugly as it was, we'll be happy about this one.
As time was winding down, there were numerous timeouts, timeout after timeout. It seemed like. What was your message to the team during those timeouts? Because you were up by a couple points, and how were you trying to enable them to control the game and control their destiny in this one?
Well, I told a couple jokes because it took so long, and they were checking who's the fouls were on and cheap shots, and the refs have to do that. They have to stick to, obviously the things they would do in the first or second quarter, and we get that, and we just kept talking about different situations. If we go up 2, if we're up 3, knowing they were probably going to call a timeout. The good thing for us, as much as like we're trying to shoot free throws and they're stopping play, it allowed us to kind of review everything we've been talking about. Okay, we still had a foul to give for a long time, and I just said, hey, remember, we'll have time to do that, and just keep talking them through. Okay, the situations. Okay, we're going to bring Kennedy in for defense, and it was a little bit more of a calming kind of huddle for us, which was fine. And those things happen, and you got to make sure the refs get it right. So no worries on that end. But just it was great to be able to communicate to them and smile every once in a while, tell them to take a deep breath, and obviously we were at the good end of it.
Well, you can take a deep breath after this one. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thanks,
Congrats.
guys. Thanks for coming.